We choose, which is the last of 5 years of a cycle of 5. Started with the Moon Maiden, Sun Lover, Earth Mother, Star Queen, and now Otherworld Crone. So we are working really with the crone in a different way than is more likely. A lot of people know the crone as the mother of death and rebirth, and we are really working with her, with the old one, the wise one, the wisdom keeper. And the Otherworld has that special place of wisdom that is not just from the mind, that is very much of the heart. And to work with that very much energy of the goddess, I think the Otherworld is a completely different way in. So we like to go in places that are not so well trodden, new places where we find new aspects of the archetypes. So the Otherworld, there are many Otherworlds, and also many descriptions of the Otherworld in different countries, in different cultures, and we work especially with the Celtic. And in the Otherworld, in the Celtic tradition, there are like 3 worlds. There's the upworld, the middle world, and the Otherworld. And to go there is a very much a state of mind. And I walk the land of Avalon a lot, and Avalon, of course, is one of those other worlds. And there are many over the world, in Shambhala, and not named, and Atlantis, and so there's many places you can go. And when I walk over the land of Avalon, I often come to places where I feel that energy is such a vague word, but there's something there. You can feel there's something shimmering almost in the atmosphere. And when you then stop and feel that place, you can feel that there's a portal. So what is a portal? A portal can be anything. You know, it is really a way in to that other state of mind, to that other way of connecting with the ancient ones, with the goddess, with the crone, with the fairy realm, the fae realm, all the other places that are magical and not of this world, that are definitely bring you into another place in yourself, in that connection. So what we are working with is very much, and tonight especially, this afternoon, in the opening ceremony, is for everybody of you to find that portal and to find that Otherworld entry for you. And I think it's like the connection with Goddess, which I always say is very unique. It's only for you. And you can find people who have the same experiences, but still your connection with Goddess is very unique. So to find your unique portal into the Otherworld to meet the crone. So it is your journey, your personal journey, and then sharing that with others will bring out beautiful things as well. So in our book here, we have made 5 books for all years, and the last one, the Otherworld Crone Wisdom, we have a ceremonialist also worked with the portals that we have worked with, especially, and written new myth and stories and poetry to reflect kind of our journey that we have personally in our personal connection to the Otherworld and our portals. So if you want to read a bit more about how our journey has been in that unique connection, then I would say to see if you're on the market, find the book, and then this afternoon really to open your heart, open your mind, and just let come what comes. No judgment, no, it has to be this way or that way. Really let yourself be led to your portal and your entry into the Otherworld.
Yeah, so these new goddess myth books that the ceremonialists of the last 5 years have written, they are all for sale in the market on the presenter's table, as Marion said. But they really are reconnecting into ancient stories, ancient mythologies, particularly from the European lands, really, from European goddess traditions. And what we see there is that a journey into the other world, in whatever form that has, whether you stumble in by mistake, or whether you're led in by some guide in the form of an elemental or an animal being, or whether you choose to enter really consciously, these are initiation journeys. These are stories of initiation. And what we're working with in this conference, in honoring the crone goddess as Lady of the Other World, is the initiation of our own wisdom. And wisdom has many, many different forms. You don't have to be old for that. In the same way that the crone goddess is not necessarily old. She's shape-shifting. She changes everything she touches, which is why the conference is constantly changing as well. You know, we're moving forward with whoever wants to be a part of this great journey. And so this 5-year cycle has worked with specific initiations. This is this, how do we become wise as humans? And by wisdom I really mean rightful action, rightful way of being in your emotional and mental states of being. And really in the place where we are, in the reality of our physical world, which is where we live, in the bodies that we live, that are a part of nature, that are, you know, as the great goddess, we are her beloveds. We are beloveds. It's not a mother-child relationship or a parental-child relationship. It's a beloveds interactive relationship. What is the wisdom way of manifesting that? For you specifically, because it doesn't have to be what it is for somebody else, and the whole burden of the problems of the world are not on your shoulders. We just all need to do our individual bit. So this wisdom element is very much for me, my phrase for this is, what would love do? Which is usually not what little me wants to do at all, you know. Certainly not what's convenient most of the time. But so this is part of wisdom. And wisdom, you know, the youngest child can speak the wise words into a family group or into at the party, you know, or the wisdom of the pathfinder, a young person who really stands for what they absolutely hold as the core value. Yeah? This wisdom comes in many different ways. What comes with this elder archetype that we're working with, which Marion and I will talk about more from our own teachings, from the ways we work with both Bridget as great wisdom goddess and Rhiannon as a wisdom goddess. And I think that's on Saturday. Yeah. Is this elder archetype is very much about how we get to be wise humans, walking from that place of what love would do, what our heart would tell us to do. That is never selfish. Can't be selfish if it's love, you know. Also not self-sacrificing. It's, you know, you are included in that yourself. And so when we enter into the other world for an initiation to touch the wisdom or to step into that wisdom, what you see in our European fairy tales or mythologies about the goddesses, the crone goddesses of the other world, is that they're tests, challenges. You know, you have to do things or make a choice. And so you will find that we've woven this into the threads of our ceremonies. For example, on Thursday evening, you will have to make a choice. There are 4 portal ceremonies on that echo what will happen in the opening ceremony tonight, that will work more deeply with particular elemental forms of her entry into the other world. But you only get to do one, you know, so choices are woven into the conference. Also this whole thing of how do we become wise elders. There's so many older people in our world, in our governments, who are not at all wise. They're certainly not acting very wisely. So it's not about how grey you are, or how many wrinkles life has given you, or how many experiences you've actually gathered. It is about what we do with that, really, and from what place we make those choices. Are they places of inclusivity? Are they places of mutually supporting? Or are they choices that are something different from that? So that's the archetype really we're working with, and the portals for entering, like Marion says, has different forms. And in our ancestral traditions, the Celtic peoples of Europe worked very much with the sacred birds. So part of what we have woven into the fabric of this conference is working with birds of the different directions. as these beings that can fly between the realms, that can take you on these initiation journeys, that have specific meanings for people of certain environmental, ecological lands, like the wetlands or the coastlands or the highlands or the plainlands. And so you will notice that each of the directional groups has a particular bird, and these were chosen very sacredly, not true, very randomly, because we could really have chosen any bird, because all birds have been significant for some people, some tribe, some group of people somewhere. So we have just chosen birds that particularly sung to us as ceremonialists for this. So it's not like, in the north there's the beautiful raven, and therefore always in the north we have the raven. It's not like that at all, okay? So this is part of her shape-shifting, in that things are a form and then she changes. So don't get too attached to any of it. Be open to the magic of her birds while you're walking the land, of the magic of her other world that is right here in Avalon. We are in that portal place, and in what she will bring to you through the ceremonies and your choices in this conference. That's it.